everyone, this is Marika and welcome back to another session of Communication and Education Technology. In our previous session, we have discussed about liquid crystal display projectors. Let us quickly recall what LCD projectors are and then move on to today's topic, which is PowerPoint presentation. Now, LCD projectors or liquid crystal display projectors is a type of video projecting device which is used for projecting videos and images or even written content onto a flat screen. We've seen that LCD projectors were first invented in New York in the year 1984 by an inventor called Gene Dolgoff. The use of LCD projector have increased in today's world because it is appealing to different senses of human being. It is used for meetings, it is used for various conferences, it is also used for educational as well as entertainment purposes. We also have seen that there are three different types of LCD projector. The first one is ultra light portable projector. The second one is conference room projectors, and the third one is fixed installation projector. So these projectors are divided according to the size or portability of a projector. And then we discussed about the guidelines to be followed while using LCD projectors. The surface of the projecting screen must be smooth, it must be of neutral color. We have to set up the entire system first before the image or the video is projected to the audience. There are lens caps found on the projectors which has to be removed in order to display an image or the video onto the screen. And we also discussed about the warning lights that are available on an LCD projector. Now that we have a complete idea about LCD projectors, the first thing to understand before we move on to today's topic, which is PowerPoint presentation, is that in today's world, if we see LCD projectors are replacing all the conventional type or all the older types of projector and are most commonly used. And in education, if we purely focus, we see that LCD projectors are widely used by the teacher or by the presenter in order to present the topic for the use of PowerPoint presentation or for displaying a PowerPoint presentation. In this session today, we are going to discuss about what is a PowerPoint presentation, what are the various guidelines, and we will discuss about the advantages and disadvantages of using an LCD projector. Now, a PPT is a PowerPoint presentation, and a PowerPoint presentation is widely used form of educational media which is used in teaching process with various images and illustrations by the teacher. PowerPoint presentation or PowerPoint is an excellent tool that can be used to enhance the presentation with various visual, graphical, and supplementing points. A PowerPoint presentation is an excellent tool that is used for presentation. As in PowerPoint presentation, we can use various visuals, graphics, and or various written contents. PowerPoint presentation is found to be one of the most widely and most commonly used educational aid in today's world because they are visually attractive and they are believed to be interesting. So if we see educational community, PowerPoint presentation is widely used by teachers in different field, not just in medical field, but in different field in order to teach to the students because it is believed to be interesting and also to be visually attractive. Of course, any audio-visual media that the teacher uses, if it is visually attractive, it will elicit the interest in the students, it will motivate the students to learn better. A PowerPoint presentation is most commonly used audio-visual media. Now, a PowerPoint presentation is preferred by the teachers or the presenters because it is flexible not just for presenting the content but also for self-preparation. For example, if I have to deliver a lecture on graphs, now through the use of PowerPoint presentation, I can not only add pictures, visual or graphical representation, I can also include the important points that I want my to cut. Not just for presentation but also for preparation, PowerPoint presentation is widely used by the people. Now, PowerPoint presentation, of course, is the most commonly used application, and we see that it is the most commonly used in entire educational community. But there are various guidelines that as a presenter we must follow while we use a PowerPoint presentation. Let us see in detail what are those guidelines that are to be followed. So practically, when we open a PowerPoint presentation, the first thing that we should do is select the design of the slide or to select the background of the slide. The first one is to use pleasant background. So as a presenter, when I am presenting a particular topic through the use of PowerPoint presentation, I should select a background. I should select a background that is neutral and which is pleasant to the eyes. The second guideline to remember or to follow is to limit the information on one particular slide to one topic or to one idea. The information that the presenter includes in the slide must be limited to one particular idea. That means in a particular slide, we should not include many different types of ideas. It will confuse the viewers. So in order to make sure that there's no confusion and whatever is written or whatever picture is displayed to the viewers, it is clear, we have to limit the information to one particular idea in one slide. The next guideline to use a PowerPoint presentation is to use short words and phrases. Instead of including long lines or entire paragraphs, we have to compress the information and use short lines or short phrases. Pictures, drawings, and illustrations can be added in order to make the content or make the slide more interesting and more visually attractive. So in order to make a slide attractive, in order to make the slide more interesting, pictures and various graphics must be added to the PowerPoint presentation. But as a standard rule, we should not overcrowd the slide as well. The information on the slide also should be minimum, and the pictures or the drawings that are used on the slide also must be minimum, so that we can keep the slide simple and clear. Now, we all know that in PowerPoint presentation, we have various options to use animations and various different types of designs. There are various different effects that we can add to each of the slide. But in order to make sure that your presentation is not very overburdened, it is not very unpleasant, we should not use too much of special effects on the slide. So effects are to be used, but to a limit. The next thing that we should remember is the pictures that we use for each of the line or each of the slide must be relevant to the content. So of course, if I'm talking about LCD projectors, I'll use pictures related to LCD projectors. So the picture that we use must be relevant. Now, why should we avoid irrelevant image and also various slide effects? Because using many slide effects and irrelevant pictures will distract the audience. So the audience will not be focused on the content or the message that as a presenter I want to present. The audience will be focused more on the effects and various different images that I have used. The audience will be distracted from the content. So in order to avoid that, irrelevant pictures or too many special effects on the slides must be avoided. The next thing to remember is consistency of the color must be maintained throughout the slide. So when we prepare any slide, we obviously choose a background and we choose the color that has a contrast with the background. So a proper background, once selected, will give us an idea what color content should we use in order to make sure that it has a proper viewing for the audience. Use of multiple colors and graphics must be avoided, and there should be consistency of the color used throughout the slide. Another guideline to remember is to use a dark colored text on a light background. So of course, that is how we create a contrast for proper viewing of anything, right? So for a PowerPoint presentation also, when we use a lighter background, we have to write the content with a darker color. Whereas when we use a darker background, we have to write the content with a lighter color. For example, use of white colored text on the black background. So of course, against the black background, white text will be properly visible to the audience. In order to make sure that there is proper visibility and the written content is clear, we have to use the color accordingly. The next thing to remember is use of bullet points instead of number is always considered good. So instead of writing numericals everywhere, instead of writing numbers everywhere, to denote points, we can use bulletin points. Numbers are to be used throughout the presentation only when we are showing any kind of ranking or any kind of sequence. So throughout the PPT, we have different slides. We have different points in each of the slides. In order to show that it is a new point, we can use bulletin points and not numericals. Numericals can be used when we are trying to show the sequence or ranking of a particular content. The next thing to remember again is to not overboard or overcrowd the slide with the written content and to keep enough open space around the written content. So the slide must not be overburdened or overcrowded with the text, and there should be enough space in and around the written content. Now, there is a rule to be followed for PowerPoint presentation. That rule, which is called as 6 into 6 rule, must be followed. Now, what is 6 into 6 rule? This rule says that in one slide, there should not be more than 6 lines, and each line should only have 6 words in it. As we have seen in the beginning, we discussed that the points that we use must be short. The phrases that we use must be short instead of long phrases or long sentences. So here, 6 into 6 rules must be followed, which says that each of the slides should only have maximum of 6 lines, and each of these 6 lines should only have 6 words. The next thing as a presenter that we must make sure is to ensure that the content written on the slide is readable. Whatever content is written on the slide, it must be readable by the viewers. While we prepare for any presentation as a teacher or a presenter, we must make sure that the style of font that we use is simple and clear. Now, the fonts that are easily readable, that are clear for the audience, must be used, such as Arial font. Okay, so the font that we use must not confuse the viewers. There must be no confusion among the learners about what is being displayed on the screen. If we use simple and understandable fonts such as Arial, then it is easily understandable by all the different learners. Next thing to keep on mind is to make sure that we avoid uses of capital letter throughout the slide. So we should not prepare our presentation with all capital letters. We should use a proper sentence case which includes capital letter in the beginning and which is followed by small letters. So a proper sentence case must be used and not all capital letters to be used throughout the slides. The next thing to remember is that throughout the presentation, we may have certain specific points which as a presenter I want to emphasize on. So for such important points or such key points, the presenter can use different contrasting colors so that the viewers or the learners understand that these are the key points, these are the highlighted points. As I said, the important points can be highlighted with the use of different color. Along with that, the points can be kept bold and italic in order to make sure that the point is emphasized on. To make a presentation more interactive, more interesting, the written content must be limited, as well as the illustrations, the images or drawings that are added to the slide must also be kept very simple. Do not use multiple animation as well as transition for each of the slide. Limit to only 1 or 2 animation or transition on a particular slide. So as I said, too many effects and too many animations and transitions must not be used for the PowerPoint presentation, as it becomes unpleasant for the eyes. The visual aid like pictures or graphics that we use to supplement the PowerPoint presentation must be simple and clear. It should be visually pleasing as well as clear. It is generally considered good if the number of slides are limited according to the time that a presenter has in hand to present the particular content. The presenter must prepare the slides. These are the various guidelines to be followed while using a PowerPoint presentation. Let us now see what are the advantages of LCD projectors and what are the various disadvantages of LCD projectors. LCD projectors are technologically advanced video projecting projectors which are used not just for projecting still slides but also videos. Through the use of LCD projector, we not only get to have an image of a particular aspect or a particular topic, we also get to see the video. Slideshow and video can be clubbed together and customized for a single presentation. So when we use LCD projectors, we can use the slideshows, we can use the videos clubbed together in order to present a particular topic and make it more interesting. And the last advantage is that as we can use not just the images but the videos as well, it is obviously considered very interesting and visually attractive for the audience. So these are the various advantages of using an LCD projector. Let us see what are the limitations. The first one is it is not cost effective. As it is an electronic device, it is quite expensive. Now, as we have discussed, LCD projectors and PowerPoint presentation is a software which the teacher uses mostly in today's world through LCD projectors in order to display or in order to teach a particular topic. So LCD projectors and PowerPoint presentation, to operate this LCD projector or the PowerPoint presentation, the teacher or the faculties have to have technical skills. The teacher or the faculty must have a proper knowledge about the use of not just the LCD projectors but computer and PowerPoint presentation as well. And finally, in case of power failure, there will be a lot of hassle and it will not be easy for the teacher to teach to the class. So if there is interruption in the power supply and if the teacher has prepared a PowerPoint presentation and the teacher wants to use the LCD projector to display or to teach to the students, then it may not be a successful one where there is continuous disturbance in the supply of electricity or when there is interruption in the power supply. So to conclude today, in this session, we have discussed about PowerPoint presentation, various guidelines to be followed while using a PowerPoint presentation and various advantages and disadvantages of using a LCD projector. LCD projector, as we have seen, is a video projecting device that is used widely and that has replaced most of the conventional projectors. LCD projectors are very common and it is widely used in education. It is also used for entertainment purpose. Under LCD projectors, we have seen that PowerPoint presentation is mostly used in today's world in the educational community to impart knowledge to the students. And finally, we concluded the topic on discussion on various advantages and disadvantages of using a LCD projector. I hope the class was helpful. I'll see you all in the next session where we will discuss about audio educational media. Thank you and have a great day ahead.